Welcome you all to the second segment of Love Talks. For any of you who were with me last week, I appreciate you for coming back. And if this is your first time joining, I'm your host, Ina Love, and I'm so happy you've decided to be with us here today. As you know, this topic for today is what is the purpose of life and why are we here? I just want to begin by saying that last week, like this week, we started with a few issues. So I'm going to just kind of reiterate some of what I shared last week, just because I want to get a little bit of clarity on what the purpose of the segment is and what I'll be sharing, the source of the information that I'll be sharing with you. And so that's just kind of an overview of where we're going. I'm going to start this segment this week with sharing a little story. As we do these segments each week and you get to know me a little better, you'll come to find out that I am what I call an open book, meaning I share very openly. You can ask me anything and I'm happy to share with you. If you ask me, I will tell you truthfully. So I just want you to know that, when I'm sharing story, I do that because we learn from one another's experiences. So I think the story that I'll be sharing with you tonight is a great segue into the topic of the show today. So in 2009, I was living in Atlanta. I was married at the time. I had been married for 24 years. And I remember waking up one day and saying to myself that I wasn't happy. I had this very clear realization that I wasn't happy. So I prayed about it. I said, God, I want to be happy. And an answer quickly came to me that I needed to make changes in my marriage. So I went to my husband at the time and I said, I'm not happy. Like I just told him that I wasn't happy, that we needed to do something. And I suggested to him that we go to counseling. Let's go to counseling. Let's find a marriage, a therapist, something of that nature, which he was not open to. And I kept pushing and pushing the issue and wasn't getting anywhere with that. So I suggested that I go to counseling, which that was not an option either. So realizing that, I wasn't getting anywhere with the suggestion of counseling, I decided to seek answers. So I started reading books on relationships and healing marriages and things of that nature. Again, I'm just, trying to find a way to have a happy marriage. So I would share the information that I was learning. And honestly, he wasn't open to it at all. So after about a year of trying, to find a way to make my marriage better, I came to a decision that I wanted a divorce. And I was very clear that I want a divorce. This isn't working. I'm done. So the decision that I wanted to be happy completely turned my life upside down. I found myself in 2010, going from in 2009 when I made a decision I wanted to be happy, through a whirlwind of events. In 2010, I found myself divorced, living in Los Angeles, California. Not at all what I expected. I thought I was going to work on my marriage and, things would just continue. But, we don't always know how things are going to work out. So again, I find myself unmarried, living in California and completely confused. I did not understand what had happened. Like literally I'd gone through hell and my life was starting over, and I was confused, and I needed answers. I was very broken at that time. So I did the very thing that my ex-husband was not open to. I sought out a counselor, someone to help me to get understanding, to heal myself, to find answers. I worked with a counselor for well over a year. And after working with her, there just came a day when I realized I was done with that part of my life. For anyone who has ever done counseling, or if you've ever considered counseling, it's really just a safe place to get your thoughts out, to really express, it's just like a safe haven, really, to talk things through. So after about a year of counseling, I said, okay, I'm done with this. Now what? I found Agape Spiritual Center, which is actually still to this day my church home from 10 years ago. But through the church services at Agape, I started to find some of the answers that I was seeking. Clarity and balance and harmony, all the things that I just really desperately needed in my life at that time. So then I started taking classes at Agape, and I started learning about sacred knowledge and ancient wisdom and many, many teachings. So, at this point, I'm starting to get answers about life, like things are starting to make sense again. So I continue with the classes at Agape. From there, I start taking classes at Landmark Academy. And I don't know if you're at all familiar with Landmark, but Landmark is like a self-empowerment, self-development type of program. So I was taking many courses at Landmark, and again, this is like a process, and I'm layering, and I'm learning, and I'm healing, and all of these things. So through the work that I was doing at Agape, I then started meeting like spiritual healers and spiritual teachers and guides. And so at this point in my life, I start trying different type of healing techniques. And you have to understand that, I was a really broken person, like all of us. We've been through so many things in life, and I'm seeking these answers. So I'm seeking all of these different teachers and healers. I'm just kind of open to everything. I tried sound healings. I tried, chakra balancing. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but your chakras are your energy centers in the body. And, the chakras in the body are where we hold the energy of all of our experiences and things that we've been through in life. So again, I'm open to everything. I'm trying all of these things. Then I find myself sitting in sacred ceremonies with indigenous people, like with shamans, just so many things. And one day I'll tell you guys about the experiences that I had in the sacred ceremonies, because that was so very powerful and healing. But today we just really, I'm leading up to the topic of today. So after doing all of these ceremonies and healings and all of these things, at this point, I start exploring silent meditation retreats, where I would go with Agape Spiritual Center, and we would spend like a block of time, several days, where you just disconnect from everything. No cell phones, no internet, no communication. You're just in total silence for, several days at a time. But this was a very powerful experience. And through the silent retreats is when I would say something really shifted. And at this point, I'm probably maybe 2 or 3 years post-divorce, having read many books, all of these healers, just like I said, so many things. But at the silent meditation retreat, I actually received the very first poem that I wrote that would later become my book. But I just vividly remember at that time, there was some sort of an opening, like a clearing. And I had I realized that I had healed something. You know, it was like, it was a really profound experience because I never intended to write poetry or publish a book, you know, and had no idea at the time that, you know, it was all leading up to that. But I'm sharing all of that to say through all of this healing work that I had done over the years, the books, the healers, the retreats, the, you know, the teachings, the spiritual guides, like so many things, there came a point where there was an opening and I started to receive what I now call my gift. So I'm sharing all of that to say that what I'm sharing with you today, you know, I am so thankful that I had the luxury of time, the resources, and truly everything that I needed to take that period of time in my life to go seeking information that became so powerful and life transformative for me. And I want to share what I've learned. It feels like some type of like a responsibility that I have all of this knowledge and I simply want to share it. And as I said on the first segment last week, that's truly the purpose of Love Talks, is that I'm just sharing some of what I have learned along the way that has helped me to heal my life. Because one thing I know is that, you know, life can be very challenging. And we have all been through things. I have yet to this day, have I ever met a person in life who hasn't been through something. And I think, you know, it is part of, you know, how we learn and grow in life. And those life experiences are not always easy, but you can look back at every one of the experiences that you've been through in life. And I'm sure you can absolutely say that you learned something from that. You grew from that experience. You know, that it was a very powerful experience. But I think in many cases, so many people, as I was, were holding on to those experiences and not healing them. And, you know, so oftentimes spend a lifetime being plagued by those experiences. So, as I said, myself, I've been blessed to have the time to go seeking these answers, seeking healing, seeking all of these things. And I just want to share what I've learned. So, all of that being said, I was just trying to give you a little overview of where, you know, the source of some of the information that I will be sharing with you. As I said, I've read countless books on life and the understanding of life. I've taken many courses, you know, done a lot of inner self work. So today, our topic is, what is the purpose of life and why are we here? So I have actually, I see this, you know, and I'm sharing everything from my own personal perspective of what I have learned, my own experiences in life. You may agree, you may not agree. And, you know, that's perfectly okay. I'm not trying to change your mind by any means. I'm merely sharing what I've learned along the way. So for me, because I've actually contemplated this thought, the purpose of life I see as a threefold, sort of a threefold thing. I don't know the right word to use there, but that's okay. First and foremost, because there is a reason and a purpose for everything, including, you know, life. Like, what is the purpose of life? First and foremost, I believe the purpose of life, that we are here for God, you know, to worship God, a higher source, the source of all that is, the source from which all things come, and that we are here to really develop a relationship and a connection to that source. I want to also preface that by saying, I know that some people don't believe in God. and may actually have issue with the word God. But I want to clarify that when I use God, it is merely the word that I choose. But honestly, God doesn't care what you call it. You can say, I believe in it. You might say, I believe in the universe. I believe in, that there's a higher source, or, there's 1,000 names for God. And it truly does not matter what you call that source. What matters is that you believe and develop that relationship with source, because that is the source from which all things come. And in order to receive the blessings and the gifts and to align with your purpose and all of these things, we have to develop that relationship. Also, God, as I see it and as I know, is actually an acronym, if you will, GOD, generating, operating, and destroying. And what that means is, and again, I'm only sharing from my perspective, we are co-creating everything in our life with the higher source. For instance, you have a thought, you have, maybe an idea that you hold in your heart. I want this, I want to do that. Whatever your ideas are, whether you speak them, whether you think them, whether they're in your heart, God, source, the universe is all knowing, knows everything in our hearts, knows our deepest wants and desires, and is actually co-creating with us to fulfill those wishes, dreams, hopes, desires, all of those things. So that is why it is so vital to develop that relationship and really, work on creating a very strong connection and a belief with that higher source. Because as I said, God is generating, creating everything that we are wanting. Operating, everything that is happening in the world, God is the source of that, the operation, the mechanism that moves everything in life. Everything is happening because of source. And the third component is the destroyer. When we have negative thoughts, when we don't truly believe, if we, primarily I'll just say with the negative thoughts are very destructive. They actually kill your hopes and dreams. So I don't believe by any, I do not believe at all that there is a vengeful God that is out, to get us, to harm us, to make us suffer, or anything of that nature. I believe that what is happening in the world today is truly a result of a collective of all of our misdeeds and thoughts that as a global society, we have created the issues that we are facing today. We have created this world, co-created this world with a higher source. So, we have to be very, very cautious of our thoughts. Guard your thoughts, guard your words. We are constantly speaking into existence what we are wanting in life. And it's not just a matter of saying, oh, I want this, and it happens. There is a process to that, which I'll dive into a little deeper when we get to the third segment of what is the purpose of life. So again, we are here to develop our relationship with God. God is so much more. It's not a word. When you say I believe, I think many people believe that they believe, but you have to get to a place that in your heart without a shadow of a doubt. There is no doubt that God is, source is, there is a higher source that is co-creating with us. So one, again, we are here for God to develop that relationship. And gratitude is such a powerful part of developing your relationship with God. You know, when you see things that are moving in your life in the right way, be thankful, like be very thankful. I start each and every day with gratitude. I end my day with gratitude. I'm thankful all throughout the day. You know, everyone, including God, wants to be appreciated. So we have to remember to be thankful for the things that we have in our lives. Secondly, I believe that we are here for love, which God is love. I say this all the time. I don't know if people actually believe that or truly understand that, but God, the source of all that is absolute love. And love is a very powerful force in our lives. As a matter of fact, next week segment, I will be talking about love. I want to share with you all some of what love has done in my life, you know, from living my life from my heart, doors that have opened, opportunities that have happened. I absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that it is the power of love that has made these things happen. So it is vital, one, to love God, to heal our hearts so that we can learn to love not only ourselves, but one another. Because everything that is happening in the world today is truly due to a lack of love. You know, think about the things that we do to ourselves, how there's so many ways that, you know, we hurt ourselves. You know, so many of us are burdened by things that other people have done to us. But what about the things that we've done to ourselves? You know, and we've all done that. We've all made decisions and done things in our lives that are not in our best interest. But, you know, in any given moment, we have an opportunity to make different choices for ourselves, to really, you know, to learn to love ourselves and put our focused attention on healing our hearts and learning to love ourselves, our body temple, which truly is the place where God resides in our hearts. So it's vital to learn to love yourselves. And as we learn to love ourselves, we learn to love one another. And that is how we are going to heal the world, which I absolutely believe without a shadow of a doubt is possible. You know, we look at the world and we see a multitude of things, so many things that need to be healed. And it seems like an impossible task. But honestly, I don't see it that way at all, because if we learn to open our hearts and love one another, all of these things that are happening in the world will automatically transform and heal. So healing the world is really about healing ourselves. So I'm just kind of planting that seed because, you know, everything that I share, I'm not at all trying to change your mind. I'm not trying to change your beliefs. I'm, you know, simply sharing what I have learned because it has been very powerful for me. And I hope that something I share will be, you know, something for you to contemplate, something for you to look deeper into, something for you to explore. So I'm merely planting seeds. Thirdly, okay, so we have developing a relationship with God, learning to love ourselves. And the third component is healing, learning, and growing. That is a part of what life is all about. We are here to learn. Life is a masterful teacher, a very powerful, oh, just honestly, it's really even hard to comprehend um, how life truly works. But there is a source greater than anything we can even imagine. that has a perfect plan, a perfect design for each of us. And, you know, unfortunately, I guess we learn through some of our um, some of the very difficult and traumatic experiences we've had in life. They are designed to teach us. But as I said, we have to heal those experiences. We have to um, forgive those experiences. We have to let go of those experiences. I have had so many conversations with people who have, shared with me unbelievable experiences. There are people in this life who have been through things that we can't even fathom. Each of us, we believe we've had a horrific life, and many of us have been through some really unimaginable things. But so many people have shared with me that they've been through experiences and they say that they've healed them. Well, I think as human beings, we have a way of suppressing, or, somehow we are able to put those experiences out of our minds as a way of protecting ourselves. Some of the things that we've been through in life are just too difficult to face. But I want you all to know that in order to truly open your gifts, open your purpose in life, to align with those things that you're truly wanting, we have to get in there and do the hard work. And it's not easy. It is not at all easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it is, but I will tell you, on the other side of those difficult experiences you've had, if you are able to forgive them and free and release them, is the freedom that you are truly looking for in your lives. So, again, I'm just, kind of sharing a little pathway um, into all of this. We're just kind of opening the door on all of this. And, throughout the weeks, we will dive deeper and deeper into this. So, as I said, we are here to learn. We learn through our experiences. We are here to grow, which our experiences are designed to teach us, to help us to grow into the person that we came here to be, to fulfill the purpose that we came here to fulfill. We each have a purpose. Life itself, there is a purpose for life. And then within that, within life itself, we have our individual purposes for being here. And, I think, well, many people have discovered what their purpose is in life. Some people haven't even contemplated or thought about, like, what is my purpose here? Why am I here? What am I here to do? I think we have many purposes in life. And if you want to know what your purpose is, if you want to align with your purpose, you have to develop that relationship with God. Open that door, begin the healing process so that you can align with what your purpose is. So again, I said, we're here to heal, to learn, and to grow. A big part of the healing that we are here, or what we have to heal, a major part of healing those experiences that we've been through comes through forgiveness. So we have to learn to forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we've made in life, knowing that we all make mistakes. I often say, when you know better, you do better. So we've all done things in life that, you might look at yourself today and say, God, if I knew what I knew today, I never would have done that. Exactly. So, as we learn and as we grow, we have an opportunity to make better choices, to align with the path that we are meant to be on in this life. And that is how we're going to begin to heal the world, is when we start to make conscious choices and decisions that are not only in our own best interest, the best interest of the people around us, and ultimately our global society, because every decision we make has the ability, to make a huge impact. And that can be either positive or negative. So we have to be very conscious of the choices that we're making, and start to make choices, again, that are in our best interest and in the best interest of the collective. So just to kind of recap on all of that, as I shared, the purpose of life and why we're here, as I see it, developing our relationship with God, um, healing our hearts so that we can not only learn to love ourselves, learn to love one another, and so that we can begin to grow as a global society, as a human species, as humanity, as one global family. So, just again, things to be aware of, things to keep in mind as we move through life. We're facing some very challenging times right now. None of us knows what the future holds, but we have to stay focused. We have to stay positive. We have to stay close to God and believe that we are going to get through this experience, because I absolutely believe that with all of my heart. I know that, life wins and all things work for good. Even the most unbelievable things, all things work for good. And the way I see it is that all of these things that are happening in the world, it's like there has been a shift. A shift is happening. All of these things that have been happening for so long, none of what we're seeing today, all of these things that are coming to light, these things are not new. These things have been happening for many, many years. And we're now seeing these things, all of these things are being revealed to be healed. So we are not only healing on a individual basis, we're healing on a collective basis, as a global family. So we just need to move through all of this with an understanding that, everything that's happening right now, these things had to, it had to come to light. It has to be revealed in order to be healed. So, let's each of us work on developing our relationship, that bond, that connection, strengthening your belief and your faith, because God is something that you have to get to know. Get to a place in your life where you absolutely know that God is. And, I think for me, whenever something is happening that I find myself questioning, or, maybe some concern starts to stir up in me, fear, I remind myself that God is in control. So it is vital to, again, to establish that relationship, to have that truth to hold on to, as we move through this thing called life, that we are all here to learn from and grow and heal our world. Let's see, what else? Okay. So I think now, I've shared a little overview on, the topic of why are we here. I'm curious if anyone has any questions about anything that I've shared, if there's anything that isn't clear or anything that I can expand upon. There's so much information, and I find myself like wanting to share everything, but, we're going to take this in stages And you know, we'll see this as sort of like a building process, and we'll dive into all of these things deeper. Like we'll do segments on, you know, learning more about forgiveness. Next week, we're going to take a look at love and, you know, the power of love, so that I want you to truly understand why love is so absolutely important and vital to life. Love is a very powerful source. And I think next week, when I share with you some of the stories of how love has opened doors and moved in my life, that you will understand the importance of healing your heart and allowing yourself to, you know, really align with this most magnificent gift that we have been given, and that is love. Um, so I just want to take a quick peek and see if anyone has asked any questions here. Okay. I'm not seeing any questions, but if you have any, please feel free to text me. And I want to say also that if you're not feeling comfortable enough to share your questions here in this platform, please feel free to like direct message me, and I will be happy to you know, expand on anything that I've shared. Or if, you know, if something I've shared has touched on something that you might have a personal question about that you're, you know, not wanting to share here in this platform, I certainly understand that. But, you know, just understand, as I said, you know, we learn from one another. So that's how we're going to heal our world, is, you know, by getting to know one another. I want you all to, you know, get to know me. I want to share who I am. Many people have messaged me on the side because I've been sharing so many messages on Facebook each day, like just, you know, trying to share a little drop of positivity, just, you know, something to help us get through these days. I've had many people to message me on the side saying, you know, which I think is very beautiful. They say, wow, you know, like you're a beautiful person. I'd like to get to know you. And I think that is so absolutely amazing. But understandably, I can't get to know every person that I connect with on Facebook. But this is how, you know, through this platform, I want you all to get to know who I am. I want you to understand what I've learned in this life. And, you know, I really just want to help. Like, truly, that's the reason that I'm doing this. You know, I, I hope that what I share is helpful to you. I hope that, you know, I will open a door that will lead you to, you know, finding your purpose in life, healing anything in your life that you may be holding on to that still burdens you. You know, as I said, I was in a place in my life where I was very broken, and I don't have, you know, any issue with sharing that because I know we've all been through things. So I just want to help, and I just want to make that very clear. So, you know, as I said, if you have any questions, I will certainly get back to you if you message me about anything. I do have a poem that I want to close the segment with today because, as I shared last week, when I went through my healing journey, you know, somewhere along the way, something opened for me and I started receiving the gift of poetry. Well, I'm not trying to sell my book in this segment. I'm truly not using this platform to share my book because I'm actually gifting my book. For every book that is purchased, I gift my books to someone in a group home, a shelter, a rehabilitation center, you know, our brothers and sisters who are incarcerated and things of that nature. So I just want to make that clear that I'm not doing this to try and sell my books or anything like that. I just want to share seeds of wisdom, little pearls of what I've learned, you know, to help. So The poem that I'm going to share today is titled A Happy Life, because honestly, I think, you know, it seems to me that so many people in the world are not happy. And we have forgotten that, a fundamental truth of life is that, life is meant to be happy. There's so much going on in this world. And I know that we're all challenged right now, but, we have so much to be thankful for, so just, rather than deciding that you're not happy, make a conscious choice to be happy. Just say to yourself, I want to be happy. And, it's a choice. It is something that takes practice because, I like to keep it real. I think so many people have been unhappy for so long that, maybe people have forgotten how to be happy. I don't know why. Well, I do know the reason that people are so unhappy is because there's so much to heal, and hurt people hurt people. So, we're seeing a world of people who are, going around hurting one another. There's a lot to heal. So, I just want to remind all of you that, as I said, life is meant to be happy. And this poem, which is the very first poem in my book, is titled A Happy Life. Um, each day intended, okay, hang on one second, pardon me. Okay. Each day intended, free from strife, you're meant to live a happy life. Let go, be free, live joyfully. The light of God, blessed Trinity, alive within eternally. It is a choice. Shine your light. Live and love your precious life. No time to waste. Your life is now. Claim these words, speak them aloud. I am free from pain unbound, the light within ignited now. I am love, love is my light. I choose freedom, I love life. From this moment onward, no more strife. I'll live each day a happy life. So that's a happy life. I want to thank you all for joining me today for this segment of Love Talks. And, and just to say, as kind of a side note, all of this is very new for me. I'm not a public speaker. I'm not like trained in doing, this type of thing. I really had to step out of my comfort zone and out of my fear, to do all of this, like to come forward each week and share these things with you. But I just want you to know that I'm doing this from my heart with a sincere desire to help. So I hope that you guys will join me as we go forward. And next week, we are going to talk about the power of love, which is one of my absolute favorite subjects. And you may have a sense of that from my post, that I talk a lot about love. I truly believe in love. And I know with absolute certainty that love will heal the world when we decide to choose it. So it is each of our own individual responsibility. We can't change another person, and I'm not trying to change you. I'm just offering you, what I have learned that has helped to set me free. So that is my purpose. That is my intention. I wish you all a beautiful week ahead, filled with love and happiness until we meet again. So thanks again.